just getting the contributions from the masses, that was important, and I think that was a key in the game. They turned us over early. We looked shaky. They did a good job. They got on the offensive glass early. When we shored those things up and had a level of patience, I thought we became a better team, and knowing, obviously, of their talent.
Okay, questions, raise your hand. Let us get the 2 handheld mics to you. Let us know who you are, who you're with. First question, front row.
Tony, Mike Barber from Richmond. I know you said you expected Joe to elevate his play here on the stage, but when a few of those shots go down early, how much better do you feel knowing, okay, it's happening?
Yeah, no, he certainly did a good job. Joe has one of his strengths is he knows when to step up. We talked about this yesterday, actually, Joe and I did, and he knows when to let it come, and I thought, you know, he really did a great job early when we needed some things, showed a variety of the things he can do, which was, I thought, very good, and I thought he was locked in defensively as well.
To our left.
Tony, Jeff White, VirginiaSports.com. Early on in the game, Florida State had a huge advantage rebounding and had a bunch on. Did you get an opportunity to address that with the players, or did they just kind of solve that themselves?
Well, of course, we talked about it during the timeouts, and then at halftime, that was our thing. We said, listen, their second chance points. And I thought we were even better at the end of the first half. I thought we started keeping them off the glass, but our careless turnovers or turnovers that led to opportunities for them, and then their offensive rebounding were the 2 areas that we had to get under control if we were going to be successful.
A lot of us thought that you seemed more animated than usual on the sidelines. Can you talk about your thoughts going into the game?
Well, I mean, it was a physical game. You got to be ready. We haven't played for a while, and I think this is not that it's okay to not be that way during the regular season, but this is a great opportunity for us, and I thought our guys were ready, and we wanted to set the tone. I was just trying to encourage and be engaged and be passionate. That's what we talked about to our guys. Be passionate. Play with passion. Play with wisdom, passion, and compassion. Those were our 3 things we talked about today in playing that way.
Front row.
Yeah, Whitey Reed from the Daily Progress in Charlottesville. Tony, the 26 bench points tonight, Akil and Darian, could you maybe just talk about how big that was for you?
You mean Anthony?
I mean, sorry, yep. Anthony and Darian.
I believe he's disrespecting you like that, Anthony. That's crazy. No, that was big. Darian, as I said, gave us a big lift. We've seen Anthony do that, but we needed that. We did, and I thought Anthony was all over the offensive glass. They got such shot blockers, and when we got into the paint and a shot went up, Anthony has good timing and a good nose for that. And just looking at him, he had 4 offensive rebounds. Only 1 defensive rebound, but he really, that was important for us, and I think that's, as I said in the opening statement, when Malcolm was a little uncharacteristically off, the other guys stepped up, and that certainly was a key, Whitey.
We'll also take questions for Joe and Anthony.
Joe, Mike from Richmond again. Coach had said during the week he anticipated you elevating your play here. Did you come in with a more aggressive mindset? I know you've talked about that a bunch.
I would just say that, you take it with the feel of the game. You can kind of have a sense as to when you need to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. And I thought that, I was getting my guys lost a little bit, being able to move without the ball. And guys like AG, Akil, our bigs, DA, they're all setting very good screens and allowed me to get some room and rhythm looks. And I was able to just, constantly keep my guys in movement, which allowed me to get some open shots.
Doug Dowdy from the Roanoke Times. Anthony, talk about the motivation today. Were you aware of Virginia's recent lack of success in this tournament?
Yeah, I was here to watch the loss last year to NC State, and I feel like today we just really wanted to go out there and prove to everybody that we deserve to be here. We deserve to be the #1 seed, and we went out there and executed.
Front aisle.
Anthony, to have this kind of game so close to your hometown of High Point, does that make it more special?
Yeah, I joke with you all the time saying High Point's the greatest city in the world, and I believe it. And it was good to have the fans out there for me and everything, so it was good.
Again, to our left.
Yeah, Anthony, Kip Coons from the Raleigh News and Observer. Growing up in North Carolina, did you attend a lot of ACC tournaments, and what were some of your memories that you recall of big games here?
I really did not attend too many ACC tournament games. I really didn't get really focused or start focusing in on basketball until probably my sophomore year of high school.
On the aisle.
Can I hold it? No, sorry. Viv Bernstein with the New York Times. For Joe, How often have you heard the name Ralph Sampson? How often has that history been sort of thrown in the face of teams over the years to try and match what was done so long ago?
I would say that, we've been fortunate to have Ralph come down. We've met him a couple of times. He came and spoke to us, I think my first year when we played at Minnesota. His son happened to play there, and then he came to Charlottesville my second year, and we saw him in Georgia Tech, after the Georgia Tech game this year in Atlanta. But, other than most of the media, I guess, talking about, the run that we made this season and drawing comparisons, you kind of maybe hear about him a little bit here and there. Obviously, he was an unbelievable college player, but the comparisons and all that didn't really happen at all until this season when we started winning games.
Tony, back here. Joe said he kind of back here. Joe said he kind of went with the feel of the game, but could you tell early he was feeling it and on? Did you change any of your play calls to kind of take advantage of that at all?
No, as I said, I think one of Joe's strengths, it's funny, my father and I were talking about him. He has a good feel when to let it come, when to be assertive, and he senses, doesn't get it right all the time, none of us do, but he senses when something's required of him, and I thought he had a good beat. And again, he said it. He was moving. I thought we were a little stagnant early, and he was moving very hard without the ball, and he was breaking the vision of some of the Florida State defenders, and the guys were setting good screens, and you could see him get in that space where he could catch it and either make the play, whether it's a shot, mid-range game. I think he showed a lot of things. So I liked what he saw. But, yeah, I want him to be assertive and aggressive with soundness, and I thought he had the right balance, Mark.
Right here in front of me.
Joe and Anthony, Zach Barty from the Cavalier Daily. Obviously, Okaro White came out and said some things, kind of questioned the toughness of the team yesterday. How much did that motivate you guys coming into this game?
Anthony?
We heard about all that stuff, and we were on our way here when we saw it. But Coach Bennett, he kind of like reeled us back in whenever everybody was kind of getting a little bit hype. He told us that it's not about that; it's all about us, and to stay poised throughout the whole game and don't lose your mind out there. So that's what we try to do throughout the game.
Anthony, second half, how did the defense interior change, especially regarding Okaro White?
They were getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and Coach Bennett really challenged us at halftime to stop them from doing that, and we did our best. The X-outs and everything like that, on the ball screens, we tried to focus in on that, so he didn't get that little 15-foot jump shot.
That's a fine.
Hey, Tony.
That's a big fine, Doug, right there. Phone ringing. His daughter's got to help him out. Jeez.
What kind of ringtone is that?
Tony, can you talk about Akil on Okaro White in the second half?
That was an important matchup, Doug, because, one of Akil's strengths, and I think Anthony's really improved in that, but specifically in Akil, his mobility defensively, whether it's to guard a 5, a mobile 4, sometimes even a 3, and White can really, he's not shooting as many threes late in the year, but he can stretch you with his long ball. Did he hit? I think he might have hit one early. And then he's quick off the bounce, so you've got to have a guy who individually can at least contain him a little bit until our help is in position. And I thought Akil's mobility and defensive prowess showed, and it was an important matchup for us. That's why we stayed out of foul trouble. But then Darian did a good job on him. I don't think, Anthony, you didn't match up on him too much. But those two guys, their quickness and Anthony's mobility certainly, are important because he can get it going.
Back right.
Brian Hall, WBNC. Coach, if you could just talk about first time since '95 that the Cavaliers be playing on Saturday, and either Pitt or North Carolina, obviously the opponent coming up.
Yeah, two good teams. Great opportunity. I said postseason is a special time, and to be able to come out after not playing our best against Maryland, not poor, but not our best, to come out and play a little more indicative of how we want to play was important for us, and then the chance to advance. And knowing that, this is a special tournament, and for these guys to take that next step is exciting, and we'll play good teams. We'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Second row.
Stephen Bailey with the Daily Orange in Syracuse. Hey, Tony, there have been a couple reports that have come out that the ACC tournament is close to finalizing a deal with the Barclays Center starting in 2017. What would you think of that move? What's your kind of take on it?
First of all, I'd be the last to know if that was valid or not. This is wonderful here. We'll show up and play anywhere, though, I'll tell you that much, but this is a special place. I went to the ACC tournament 1995 when I was playing with the Hornets. Mike Jaminski was my teammate and J.R. Reed, and I heard those guys talking about it. And I remember I went in 95 with my fiance at the time, back then, and Laurel, and we came, and it was unbelievable. I remember sitting up there, Randolph Childress played Carolina, right? Wake Forest, Carolina, and got my first taste of this, how special the tournament is here. But postseason play is special, and obviously if whatever the ACC decides to do, we'll show up and we'll be excited to play anywhere. It's going to be in D.C., isn't it, first, in a couple of years? So I'll just focus on Greensboro and D.C. for now. I got to slow down a little bit.
To our left.
Joe, Frank Maloney, WRVA, WRNL. After the last two games prior to the tournament, you seemed to struggle with your shooting stroke. A lot of balls were in and out, it seemed like. Today, almost from the get-go, you seemed determined to lead the team on offense. Talk about the mindset between that last game at Maryland and today.
I would just say, as a shooter, our coaches are always stressing just to have short-term memory. You can't worry about, however many shots you might have missed in the past. Just shoot the ball with the same amount of confidence, no matter if you've missed 8 in a row or hit 8 in a row. So, I don't worry too much about, missing shots. I'm just trying to go out there, and if I have a room and rhythm look, I'm going to let it go and, whatever's best for our team in that situation.